it getting windy in here?
Welcome to Autobot Arcade.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Autobot Arcade here with your home for everything Transformers. Today we're back with another Transformers review, this time for the Transformers Studio Series 86 Windcharger. But before we get into the review, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Autobot Arcade and Autobot Arcade Reviews. And without further ado, let's get into this review. Starting off with the packaging, and as with all the Studio Series boxes, we have a nice window at the front and some nice artwork down the sides with the Transformers logo on the bottom. On the first side of the box, we have just some more artwork with the Autobot logo. On the back of the box, we have him in both robot and vehicle mode. And on the other side of the box, we have a nice big digital render of Windcharger. And here he is in robot mode. But before we take a closer look at him, who is Windcharger?
Windcharger is one of the lesser known but interesting Autobots from the Generation 1 era and has some standout abilities. He has the ability of electromagnetism and uses it to generate powerful magnetic fields, pull metal objects towards him, and repel enemies or projectiles during combat. Despite his small size, he uses his electromagnetic abilities combined with brute force to fight on the front lines with the other Autobots. At times, he can be bold and hot-headed, which can lead to him running into combat without any planning and often gets him into trouble. But no matter what, he is fearless and loyal and will jump to danger to protect any of his teammates.
And here he is in robot mode, and he's looking pretty cool and, from what I can tell, pretty accurate to the G1 model as well. He's pretty clean all the way around, there's not much kibble anywhere, and he's got some nice colours on him as well. He definitely stands out on the shelf. Moving in for a closer look though, and we can see that his colours are mainly red for the arms and the legs, but on the body we do have this really nice lighter blue with an Autobot logo slap bang in the middle of the body. Further down the legs we have this ribbed sort of pattern which is painted in black, which is a nice break from the other colours, and the upper legs have a lighter grey colour. Spinning him around, and again from the back we can see there isn't really any kibble. However, there is quite a few screw and pinholes on the back which are a bit unsightly, but we're not really going to be looking at this side of him, are we? Spinning him back round to the front, and you can see if we spin the legs around, there is this massive gap on the inside, which is a bit annoying, and I wish they could have filled it in, because for posing you can see the gap, which is a bit annoying, and getting him to stand on those quite large lower legs, which are the feet, is quite difficult sometimes. Taking a closer look at the head sculpt, he has that nice bucket design that he had, and looking at the faceplate, it's this lighter grey plastic with some lighter blue for the eyes. It's got this sort of grumpy expression on his face, and just looking at the chest one more time, we can see what looks to be a grille in the center of the chest and just some line work around it as well. Inside the box, as expected, we have the instruction manual, and as for accessories, he comes with these two things. First off, we have this gun, which does look pretty nice. It is just cast out of this light grey plastic. There's no paint on it whatsoever, but it's got a few nice little details. Looks like there's a magazine in there. There's some hollowed out bits on the side. There's what looks to be sights on the back of the gun, and a little handle thing on the side to tab in somewhere, which is pretty nice, but not too much going on. And the other piece is this. This is supposed to resemble his electromagnetic abilities. It's cast out of, I believe, clear plastic, but then gone over with some yellow, so it's still see-through. But as you can see, the actual tab bit is clear plastic, but the rest of it is this sort of trans yellow. So it might be dual molded, but I'm not sure whether it is. It might just be painted over the top of it in a very light amount, but it looks really nice and there's a lot of nice detail sculpted into it. If we bring in the figure, then we can attach the gun into his hand just like so. And we can take the effect piece, and this will just tab into the center of his chest like so. Alternatively, it can be plugged into the back for storage, but it looks better coming out of the chest. And when you have the pieces all attached to him and stood in a nice pose, he does look pretty cool. For articulation, the head can look left and right, and on the back of the head there is this switch that will make the faceplate look up and down. The arms can come out this far, they can go all the way around. There is a swivel and a bend at the elbow, and there is some up and down motion at the wrist and a tiny bit of swivel as well. There is a waist swivel, it goes all the way around. The legs come out this far, back this far, and they can go forwards this far. There's a swivel at the upper leg and a 90-degree bend and some really big hinges for the ankles. For some robot mode size comparisons, here he is next to the Transformers Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, the Transformers Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, the Gamer Edition Ratchet, the G1 Leader Class Optimus Prime, the New Age Optimus Prime, the Marvel Legends Sam Wilson Captain America, and finally Star Wars Black Series Shaq-T. And without further ado, let's get into the transformation. And here he is in vehicle mode. And I gotta say, he is looking pretty accurate to the cartoon. He's this sort of mini muscle car. It looks pretty cool. It's mainly red, but we do have some black paint on the back, and we have some nice trans blue inserts for the windows. There is some silver on the wheels and on the front of the car as well, and a nice Autobot logo on the hood of the car. But moving in for a closer look at him, we can see that his wheels are pinned on, so he does roll really nicely. And again, just looking at some of the details on him, he's got this ribbed sort of pattern for the back windscreen. We can see that Autobot logo on the hood a bit better, and some of the grille and headlights on the front. From the underside, he does have a bit of robot kibble, mainly his head, but there's not really much you can do about that, and you're not really going to be looking at that view. And overall, he's just looking quite nice. He's quite a simple, small mini-con, but he looks really nice. If we bring in the accessories, starting off with his gun, it can be attached to the back side of either wheel using a tab and this port on the side of the gun. However, when you put it on like this, the handle of the gun does stick out just further than the wheel, so it doesn't roll. So you might want to try spinning it around like this. But no matter which way I have tried it, it doesn't seem to peg on the greatest. The best way that I have found is to turn it around and have the barrel pointing forwards, so it's sort of like an exhaust along the side of the car instead of coming out the back. It doesn't look too bad, but I think it would have looked better coming out the back. And up the front, we have this hole right here, and we can bring in the magnetism effect piece, and that will just tab in right to the front, just like so. For some vehicle mode size comparisons, here he is next to the Transformers Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, the Transformers Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, the Gamer Edition Ratchet, the G1 Commander Class Optimus Prime, the New Age Optimus Prime, then we have the Marvel Legends Sam Wilson Captain America, and finally the Star Wars Black Series Shaq-T. And that wraps up our review of the Transformers Studio Series 86 Windcharger. And aside from the holes in the sides of the legs, he's a pretty solid figure. He's got some good paint, some nice articulation, he's pretty accurate in his robot mode, and he looks awesome in his vehicle mode. And it is just a shame that there is those holes in the sides of the legs, because he could have been a lot cleaner and look a lot better in my opinion. But before we get blown away by this guy, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, click the subscribe button if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more Transformers reviews, and until next time, don't forget to transform and roll out.